Servus, Freunde. My name is Chemie. What? Ach, never mind. Servus, Freunde. My name is Jimmy Cage. What the? This guy. Servus, Freunde. My name is Jimmy Cage. And oh. Servus, Freunde. My name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Deniz, the Buddymeister.
We have reviewed more than 500 indie movies on the channel, and today's movie was once again picked by one of our awesome Masala tier supporters. Princess Consuela Bananafuck has chosen the 2003 Telugu language romantic action film Okkadu. The title, I think, translates to The One and Only. It was written and directed by Gunasekhar, and it was both a critical as well as a box office success. It won a lot of awards, it made lead actor Mahesh Babu a big star, and it was remade in several languages.
Yeah.
It was remade into Tamil as Gilly, which I've actually already watched and reviewed, and I will make a little comparison later on.
Mm-hmm.
It was remade in Kannada as Ajay, in Bengali as Joa, twice in Bengali Bangladesh as Dapod and Bologna Kobul, in Hindi as Teva, in Odia as Mate Anidela Lake Paguna, and Zinala as Kabadi.
Kabaddi. Oh,
Kabaddi.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty simple. Buddymeister, who's in the movie and what is it all about?
The movie starring Mahesh Babu, Bhoomika Chawla, Prakash Raj, and Mukesh Rishi. And you, of course, know that Prakash Raj also played the same role he plays in the Telugu version, in the Tamil and the Kannada version.
Yes.
Yeah. So the movie is about a kabaddi player, played by Mahesh Babu, who rescues a young woman from an unwanted marriage and hides her in his home.
Yes, that's
about
the story.
it.
Yeah. It's actually a pretty simple story.
Yeah.
But that's okay,
Yeah,
I think.
of course.
Yeah, of course.
Of course that's okay.
That's okay. I mean, at its heart, it's a simple masala movie, I would say.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of romance, a little bit of comedy,
Yep.
a lot of action,
Yep.
a little bit of sport.
Yes.
I mean, it was on Wikipedia, it was described not as an
Sports.
romantic action film, but as a romantic action sports film. And that's one of the criticisms I have with this movie. I think the whole sports angle isn't really developed that much, and it's kind of tagged on, and maybe we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But first of all, I have to say I enjoyed this quite a bit. How about you?
I did too.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm always a little bit biased when it comes to Mahesh Babu movies. We haven't seen.
We only saw two.
Yeah, we haven't seen that many. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish. I mean, you can't watch a movie without expectations. But when it comes to Mahesh Babu, I'm always a little bit.
Yeah.
I have a special expectation that's maybe a little bit unfair. Mm-hmm. But having said all that,
yeah, he won
Okkadu
you over.
Is my favorite movie with him.
Yeah, mine too. But
I think we have only seen 3 movies with this one.
Yeah.
But this one is really just a nice entertainer, and I think it works that well or better than the other movies that we've seen because
we have watched. Maybe we should.
We have watched
Bharat Aninenu
and Okkadu, I think.
Yeah, Okkadu, and I think Okkadu is well beloved.
Yeah,
but for us, it didn't really click.
Yeah, I think I liked Okkadu way more because maybe it's also because it was the beginning of his action hero career. Yeah. I liked it because
he was dancing a lot more.
Yeah, he's not that serious in this movie. You know,
Yes.
He's not like that breakneck, hard-boiled hero who just kicks everybody's ass and is hasn't a kind of a loose nature. In this one, he has. He's a little bit more loose.
Yeah.
He has a little bit more fun. He's also not people also have fun with him. He gets joked around with his sister, and he's not without his flaws. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he can also kick ass and has some nice action scenes.
Yeah,
so
I mean, he's the one and only.
Yeah. But all that.
Or is that the woman?
Maybe both.
Yeah, maybe both.
So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, this movie worked in an entertaining kind of way because it was just a good mix, a good blend of all that stuff that a masala movie like should be.
Yeah, I liked this quite a bit. I was surprised how much I enjoyed myself with this one because I have seen Gilly and I liked Gilly fine.
Yeah.
But I have to say...
Who is that? Telepathy VJ.
Telepathy VJ, yeah. VJ Joseph. Or Joseph. Yeah, VJ Joseph. I like Gilly fine. And I really don't care for these like VJ versus Mahesh Babu fight and all the stuff going on in India with hero worship and actor worship and stuff like that. So I liked Gilly fine. But I like this definitely more. And I think there are several reasons for that. For once, it's the original, and I just can't. I know that.
Yeah.
And this is the original, and the other one is just a copy. It does some stuff differently, but it's a copy, and this is the original. And also, maybe because I already knew Gilly, I knew what to expect from this movie. And sometimes when you watch something and it doesn't quite meet your expectations and you watch it again, you can enjoy yourself more because you already know where the story goes, what scenes are coming. And with this movie, it's so similar that I knew what was coming and I enjoyed myself a lot more with this one. Both movies, now I can maybe do the comparison segment here. Both movies are very similar. Like usually when Indian movies are remade in another Indian language, they are very similar. Like we said, Prakash Raj even plays the same character. Some differences. Something that I really liked with Okkadu, it's just a small thing, but it made a difference. The mother character of Prakash Raj, she's portrayed as this badass, villainous mother in power, and I really liked the scene where she was introduced living in that big farming
smoking
building, smoking a cigar, and that was really awesome. And when I watched the movie, I didn't remember the mother character from Gilly, and so I rewatched some parts of it, and the mother in Gilly is also kind of a badass, but way less than in Okkadu, and the performance isn't as strong, and it's just not as I don't know, it's not as powerful. And I really liked this little thing here. Then some differences in this one. We have this great backdrop with the mosque in Hyderabad, which is called Charminar, the building. And I think
I haven't looked it up.
That was the idea of the filmmaker. He wanted to tell a story with the backdrop of the Charminar, and it's an iconic building in Hyderabad. And it's such a great building, and it plays a role in the story because that's where the hero hides the
hero is
woman.
called Ajay.
Ajay, yes, where and then the woman is called Swapna.
Swapna?
Yes. And in Gilly, it's just a lighthouse, and it's fine, but this mosque is so beautiful, and they built a set, and they it really is a great scene towards the end of the movie. The slap is in both movies. Maybe we can address it right now. It's pretty bad. I don't know. I mean, the movie is 20 years old.
Yeah, but it's still so strange why they have to put such a scene in a movie, because it's not like it doesn't serve the story or the development of the characters or that moment. It doesn't serve it.
No.
So I don't know why they do it, and they couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah, I don't know.
Instead of that
I
scene,
think it was. I mean, it's I don't know. It's and it's so unfortunate because in a way it's also a movie about masculinity.
Yeah,
and they even say that it's about manliness or stuff like that. And at the beginning of the movie, which is like West Side Story, and it's the director has said that he was inspired by West Side Story. And there's this guy on the street who is talking to a woman, and he makes advantages, and then the gang comes in with RJ, and they protect the girl, so they are kind of good guys. And so it was so unfortunate when the hero slaps the girl, and it's portrayed as something kind of positive because now she's, I don't know.
And we even see it twice because he thinks of it again. That's so. I mean, we can talk about it later, but it's so strange that he like because the scene is nice when he thinks of her.
Yes.
But the first thing he said when he then thinks is how he hit her, and then got his present. That's so strange. Why is that in there twice?
It's a movie from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And of course, even back then, it was wrong to hit a woman. Yeah, I mean, it was always wrong. But the question is, was it accepted in society, accepted in culture? And apparently, in Indian movies, maybe it was still accepted. I think in Western movies. Definitely in the 80s, there are still movies where the hero slaps a girl, and that's totally fine. But I think early 2000s, in a Hollywood movie, I don't think you would see something like that. But yeah, we have to keep in mind that it's 20 years old. Yeah. But the slap is also in both movies. Yeah. The ending is different in both movies. And this will be a spoiler review, of course. Both movies end with a kabaddi match.
Yeah.
But the segment before that is quite different. In both movies, they're going to the airport. And in the original, the girl gets kidnapped by the villain. And that whole segment isn't in Gilly. In Gilly, she even boards the plane, but then decides, no, she will leave. And she goes straight to the kabaddi match.
Okay.
And something that I liked about Okkadu, I mean, it's a long movie, and she gets kidnapped again, and now we have this whole segment. But what I liked about it is that in that segment, even if it's not long, but first of all, it's a fun segment. I enjoyed that part quite a bit. And it's the only part where the girl, the young woman, can be like kind of feisty. She is now playing with Prakash Raj's character, and he's like kind of afraid of this hero guy. And I thought that was nice because for the most part of the movie, the woman is kind of one note. Yeah. She's like the one who needs protection and like the damsel in distress. But in that whole segment, she was really cool. And she was talking back to him, and I really enjoyed that. And a criticism that I had when I reviewed Gilly was that in that film, the role is played by Trisha Krishnan. And at the very, 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 very end, at the kabaddi match, she also talks back to the villain, but it's such a small moment. And for the rest of the movie, she's like always sad, always needs protection, and I really didn't enjoy that role at all. And also in Gilly, I really didn't buy the romantic chemistry that much. And with the original, I liked that it's not really a romance for the most part, and he just wants to do what's the right thing to do, but then she develops feelings, and then he realizes, of course, he also loves her. And I think both of them, there's some chemistry there. And with this one, with the whole airport scene, and when she decides, no, she needs to go back, and he's there, and they embrace each other, I felt something. It was nice, and that's completely missing in Gilly, because in that film, he just goes to the kabaddi match, and she leaves the plane and also goes to the kabaddi match, but there's not this embracing moment, this moment like, we want to be together, even if we know that this will be very difficult right now. And Okkadu has that moment, and I felt there was more chemistry there. I'm not saying that Vijay isn't good in Gilly or Trishna Krishnan, but in the original, I felt more. Also, I know this is a large segment, but also, in Gilly, it's missing that she gets kidnapped. Here, she gets kidnapped, and it also gives us that song and dance sequence with the fake wedding, where Prakash Raj is imagining that she is marrying RJ. And I thought that song and dance number was spectacular.
It's like one of two outstanding songs.
That's really great. Just the outfit of Mahesh Babu alone, and the dance.
When he comes down the stairs.
It's fantastic, and that song isn't in Gilly. Now, when it comes to the soundtracks, the soundtrack for Okkadu was composed by who was it? By Mani Sharma, and the soundtrack of Gilly was composed by Vidyasagar. And the soundtracks are very different. The movies are very similar, but the soundtracks are very different. I already showed you a lot of songs from Gilly. You know the Gilly, the Gilly, and the Kokarakakariku, that scene, and I think one from the end. And the songs are all pretty great in Gilly. But the soundtrack is very different vibe, and I like both soundtracks a lot. So yeah, that's basically it. I think the soundtrack in this one is more kind of classical, more traditional, great melodies, and Gilly is more energetic, powerful,
that's
faster.
what I want to say. I only know the songs, but I was kind of like waiting for this Gilly song. Yeah, but instead we got Chepave Chirugali on the roof.
Yeah,
which is like very slow.
But we also get first, I think the Gilly equivalent is the Hare Krishna song.
Oh, okay.
Which is
because
also...
I was like having in mind there's some song on the rooftop.
Yeah, there is one.
Okay, yeah. But the song on the rooftop in Okkadu is really slow. It's like this Chepave Chirugali, which is one of the other one of the two outstanding songs for me, which is also sung by Udit Narayan.
Yes.
Those two songs, they really got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think last thing here in my comparison segment, I think I haven't rewatched Gilly completely. I skipped through the movie, but I think the cinematography in Okkadu is slightly better than in Gilly, because in this one, maybe it was also because we got a print that was really good looking. But in this one, there are some really cool shots. There's this one moment where Prakash Raj's character is in the mud and he's coming out of the mud, and it's a tilted shot, and then in the background all of his henchmen appear, and it's a great shot. And I compared it to the shot in Gilly where he's also in the mud, and it's just a plain, not very interesting looking shot. And I think the cinematography, which was done by Shika V. Joseph, there's some nice stuff in there.
Yeah, I also thought like some of the action was shot really well. I mean, we have all these like crazy ladder action in one of the first action scenes. I mean, the final ladder scene where they're like just standing in balance, it looks a bit silly because of the effect, but it still works. But all that stuff like in the warehouse before that, where they like climb up, it's really creative and it's fun. And I thought it was, I mean, I didn't see like any crazy computer generated effects. There is some stuff in there. But it's not like it never took me out of the scene.
To where because I thought, it was creative. Yeah, it's like with Rajamouli movies. The effects are very striking. But they are creative and it's fun. And Gilly has also some of that stuff.
We don't have to talk about
we don't have to talk about it anymore. But
yeah, but I really liked that action scene, and also like the rooftop action scene a little bit later, which has like the Star Wars Cantina music in it. Did you recognize?
Yeah.
I mean, there is like a slightly different tonal change, but it's definitely inspired by the Cantina music. And it's of course like all the action in some of the stuff in between is very much in this Telugu style, over the top. But we love that. Most of the time we love that if it's done in the right way, creative, and in a way that you think like, okay, so this happens now. Whoa, that's fun. And it's never like, what? Why? I don't get it, because the movie doesn't take itself that seriously. I mean, there is one thing, my biggest gripe with the movie that we can talk about it now. My biggest gripe in the movie is the introduction of Obul Reddy. Prakash Raj is fantastic. He's supposed to be a great villain. I thought this is something for the ages. I thought, because he's so fierce. He just kills that guy on the train tracks,
and then the other guy,
he just goes away, and there's blood splattering. And I thought, whoa, that's. But then he like disappears more or less. And every time he comes back, he becomes kind of a parody. And I thought I mean, it works, but I thought it had the potential to be just a very, very fierce and evil bad guy. And I kind of wished that he had some scenes where he like does some bad stuff to Ajay's friends or family, but he doesn't do anything else. He just like comes to the house one more time and throws some things off the shelves. And but he in that song Atarin Tinki, that big song where he's just imagining how Ajay is coming, he really looks like it's all like a parody, and it's like
I understand.
I thought it was okay, but I just thought it would have been great to have like because I like Prakash Raj in almost every movie he's in, and he was so, there was such an evil, fantastic introduction.
Yeah.
I thought, man, they could have done more with that. And I thought, that's just so.
He's definitely underutilized
Yeah.
in the movie, definitely. But you know that he's also kind of a pathetic parody from the get-go, because this "I love you," it's there from the beginning.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But his introduction was really great. Not just on the train tracks, but also when he's fighting some of his henchmen, and it's really
all this
nice.
stuff with the technique that he has,
Yeah.
Varmala, or what it's
Yeah.
called. It's also like in the beginning and
then-
right at the end.
Yeah,
And nothing is in between. The only thing that's like in between that also like fit that evil character was when he got in the mud and he like didn't wash himself
Yeah, that was
until he
great.
had
Yeah.
until he like until he can find that moment where he can get revenge.
Yeah.
And that was nice because it has like this fierce thing. He's just like stoic and thinking
Yeah.
of how can I get my revenge.
yeah.
That I like that.
Yeah, definitely. And I also like just how obsessed he is. It's just,
Yep.
it's dark comedy in a kind of way. He has this statue, and he's pouring milk over
Milk
it
and orange
stuff like
juice.
that. And it's just so over the top that it's funny, and especially with the juxtaposition when she is there later on and she's talking back to him. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
The protagonist, I was surprised. Mahesh Babu.
Yeah, like I said,
The movie didn't make a fan out of me, but I thought he was like a chill, everyday man protagonist who is doing the right thing in the moment when he has to do something, and the dynamic with the family is fun. It's the typical father-son stuff. The father's a policeman, but it's okay.
Yeah, and
it's not too stupid. It's fine.
I think that it has a fun side is really working for the movie. So that Ajay has a softer side with his family, but has also like this harder side, and that's what makes like Mahesh Babu's performance better.
Yeah.
Even if like the character, I mean, it's kind of nice. The movie has some little twists that like when or cool moments when Swapna is like trying to go home, and Ajay's father is bringing her home, and she says, "I live here," and the father just goes with it.
They really stretched that scene.
Yeah, they really stretched that scene, but it's kind of interesting. It's a creative scene. And also like how
and then
Ajay
it also gets quite tense after that on the rooftop. I really liked that part.
where he like pushes his father away and all this. That's really it's really nice, and it
works for the character. He has
Yes.
to help his father. He's his father.
Yeah.
But then he pushes him aside. He's the young guy in charge, and his father doesn't know what's
but
right.
But then again, this whole dynamic between it's also like it's just solved all of a sudden. It's just solved because the kabaddi match is so much more important when the father is back at the kabaddi match and everything's forgotten, and it's like it's like almost there to be a real conflict between father and son, but it really isn't. So
Before we talk about the kabaddi angle, I have to say I liked Mahesh Babu quite a bit, and I thought he was also a great dancer.
Yes,
I thought he was carrying all the song and dance numbers, and really great stuff, and also some fun stuff on the beach when he's jumping and just, which is the song that she just imagines when they are at the hiding place and she's in love with him, and then we get that love song that's only in her imagination. And
I'm wondering if like Mahesh Babu, if this is something like the song and dance and the softer side, is that's really something that he like put a little bit aside in his later career. We don't know it, but we have only seen 2 movies. But it wouldn't be. I mean, I could imagine that it's like something that he doesn't do that often, like this funny dancing and stuff. But I don't know. Maybe we. Maybe isn't he in a new Rajamouli movie?
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
So maybe
we will see. Yeah, the thing with the kabaddi stuff. I already complained about this in my Gili review, but there's a match at the very beginning, and then a match at the very end, and in between there's nothing.
There's only talk about kabaddi in between.
This should be something that's part of his personality, but I never got the impression that it's that important for him. I mean, it's important when he get that present, the kneecap. But other than that, it's just like, he's there with his team, but I didn't really feel the passion for it. And
I wonder why it's in the. I wonder why it's in the movie. Maybe Kabaddi was like. I mean, Kabaddi exists like for forever, but maybe at the beginning of 2000s it was like had another big like high, and it just wanted to incorporate that into the movie. I don't know, but yeah.
And I think when you incorporate something like that, it's important in an action movie that maybe there's some kabaddi moves in the action, and maybe we didn't recognize. But I think he's a kabaddi player, and he's a good kabaddi player. So when he's fighting bad guys, he should. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that would have been really nice to have like a scene where he's like against 5 or 6 people in the other gang, and he's like trying a kabaddi.
He can
move.
use his knowledge.
Yeah, that would have been cool
when it's important. And maybe we missed that because we are not familiar with kabaddi, but I'm not sure. But there are some. The movie became like a classic. We already said that at the beginning. But there are some moments that are really cool, like the moment where he escapes because he's like threatening the girl because he's clever. He understands.
Oh yeah.
And that's a really really great and iconic scene. Yeah.
I mean. One last thing, maybe there is some fun.
Oh, I have also one last
fun
thing.
Banter in between, like when Swapna is a doll in the background. It's fun. And also like the hiccup scene.
The hiccup is also fun.
That's always nice.
And something that I mentioned in our song reactions, but just this rooftop setting, I just really enjoy that. It's just a great setting. And at the beginning, you could see some green screen. Like, I couldn't. Because the rooftop, they didn't film all of it on a real rooftop. Sometimes there are green screens where they're nicely make
done,
it like higher than it is and stuff like that. I really like the setting. So, Buddymeister, what would you say in German about Okkadu?
Okkadu ist bisher klar mein Lieblingsfilm mit Mahesh Babu, der sich hier nicht so überernst wie in seinen späteren Filmen präsentiert. Der Mix aus spaßiger Action, guten Songs und humorvollem Geplänkel funktioniert. Extrem schade ist nur, dass das Potenzial, das Prakash Rajs Bösewicht geboten hätte, nicht ausgenutzt wurde.
Alright. Okkadu ist ein simpler, aber auch spaßiger Masala-Film mit vielen tollen Momenten und Songs, einem witzigen Bösewicht und low-key romantischer Chemie zwischen den zwei Hauptdarstellern.
Nice. Yeah, maybe you should go back to one verdict.
Nah.
We're always saying the same. Okay, what's your rating?
My rating is definitely 7 out of 10. I don't know, more like 7.1, but I don't do that.
Okay. For me, it's also a 7 out of 10. And what's the line? For me, it's 7 out of 10. It's more like 7.2.
Yeah.
But I don't do that either.
All right.
Are you ready for maybe the best trivia ever?
It's something about kabaddi?
Yes. It's really interesting.
Okay.
Did you know that a contingent from a little-known educational institute in Amravati called the Hanuman Vyayam Prasarak Mandal was invited to the 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin to do a demonstration of kabaddi, back then known as Hututu, and thus demonstrated the sport internationally for the very first time.
Didn't know that.
And now the best part.
Yes.
Apparently, this contingent got an audience with Adolf Hitler, who gave them a medal. And that medal today is still in the institute in Amravati.
Okay.
That's trivia, folks.
Nice. Thank you, Buddymeister.
You're welcome.
You can find us, support us, simply.
That trivia just threw you off.
I'm perplexed. Patreon.com/TheJimmyCage. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like.
Do we have to cut that trivia?
No.
Okay.
Why should we?
I don't know, because I said the name.
And it's,
do we have to cut
the name
that now?
isn't forbidden.
Okay, so if you want to get notifications on all the stuff that Jimmy is publishing, click the bell underneath the video and just have fun.
Kabaddi.